Hey, call me Shape, and today I'm reacting to a video titled Rich Men Humbled Me, Kicked Me Out. Let's get right into it.
Life is so funny because, like, one day you're living in a $10,000 a month apartment and, like, getting to do whatever you want and eating at Michelin star restaurants all the time and going on a vacation to the Amman Hotel in Sri Lanka and then extending the trip and going to Singapore and staying at the Ritz-Carlton. And you're with this man who you think you're going to marry, and he's made you financially dependent on him over the course of the relationship. And then you get into a fight one night and he turns ice cold and cuts you off financially completely, and you have no cards because you've been using his card, so you don't have any money on you. And while you're sleeping, has his friend go over to the apartment that you guys have shared since, like, the lease began and moved in together, and, like, it was our apartment, and has his friend pack up all of your stuff and then drop it outside of your friend's apartment in his hallway. Says find your way back to New York, and it's January, so when I get back to New York I will have technically nowhere permanent to live, and there's absolutely nothing I can do because I wasn't on the lease, and he was calculating in that, and obviously this is partially my fault for making the mistake of becoming financially dependent on someone when I really didn't need to. Like, I had a career, I had tons of friends, I was happy. Yeah, we'll see.
No, it sounds like he dodged the bullet and you should have shut the hell up. Honestly, that's what it sounds like. And I never hear any responsibility because number one, people don't just go cold turkey. Even though I was taught a long time ago that love was like a light switch. I don't know how true that is, but the fact of the matter is, you don't just have one small argument and you moved in with a person and a person just completely cuts you off and that's the end of it. No, it's some more context. It's something that you said. You thought you was bigger than what you was. You got out of pocket. You too arrogant to come back and apologize and humble yourself and say, no, I was wrong. And for whatever reason, you thought that y'all was equal and that y'all was partners. And the reality starts to set in and that y'all wasn't. And so then they want to say, well, I'm partially responsible for not having, for becoming, dependent on this person and all of that. Well, you partially responsible for ruining a relationship and not keeping yourself humble enough to understand who the person was that was putting you in this position of power in the first place. You would have never experienced any of this stuff if it wasn't for him. You're not saying, listen, you were living a life of the 0.1% of the 1%. You were living, because see, it's a difference. And that's the thing that people don't understand. It's one thing to be a millionaire, and it's another thing to be a high earner. Because some people become millionaires through over a period of time making strategic investments and being very, very disciplined and minimizing the amount of money that they spend on certain things that allow for them to accumulate a net worth of over $1 million. It's like four different classes of people that become millionaires or rich people. All right. Is that person, and then it's the person. I'm just going to have a conversation about two of them because it's applicable to this conversation. And then it's the person that is a millionaire, but they also are high earners. And it's a difference, right? Because a person that's a millionaire that has a net worth of that, and that's why they say a lot of millionaires, they don't show it. It's not that they can't if they want to maintain their status as a millionaire. There's other people that generate a whole lot of revenue and they still millionaires and they still make intentional investments and they're going to be rich forever and they can live a certain lifestyle.
And if you want to keep them, you got to cooperate. Because she probably was argumentative, right? You had a chance right here, girl. You had a chance to live your best life. And you think your biggest mistake was that you didn't stay financially independent. What would that have done? Would that have improved your relationship with him? Because obviously you can't replace him. He can replace you. You can't replace him. And so, she talked about staying at the Amman Hotel. Talking about she stayed at the Ritz-Carlton in Sri Lanka. Look, all those things are part of the lifestyle of the top 1%, the super wealthy, the high value man. But what comes with that is we need super cooperation. We don't got no time to be arguing with you back and forth. I think Anton is right. You definitely probably was running at the mouth And you know you don't even need to, because what are you going to tell someone that got that kind of money? You know, a lot of people want to be heard for their own ego. It's not that they have anything really to offer. It's just that they want to feel validated that I'm smart too because I want to believe that I'm smart. No, you might actually have nothing to offer in conversation of intellect, and it's okay. Sit back and be a sponge. I would. If I was rocking with a millionaire, I don't see why she wouldn't.
That's the difference, is levels. And so what you are experiencing is the top 0.01% of lifestylers that allow for you to be able to take these trips and be able to go on out of your apartment, and you just get back when you can, and you can stay at the top hotels and all of this stuff. And you had to be humbled. You had to be humbled. God had to let you know that you are in a great position, and you fumbled it. And so instead of all of the people in your comments telling you, yeah, see, this is why you need your own and all of that. No, the lesson here is that you should have shut the hell up. And I don't know how many times that I got to tell women this. You look better with your mouth closed. Honest to God. And I'm not talking about if you are a newscaster or a podcaster or something like that. I'm talking about in your regular everyday life. When you are dealing with men that are up here, they don't tolerate the same things that men that are not up here financially and resourceful tolerate. At any moment, it's like, who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? So you got to remain humble, and the ones that know how to move around these certain type of people. And you had an opportunity and you blew it. And so now you want to try to make the excuse like, oh man, no, I should have been more prepared. No, you should have just done things differently. And then you could have got to the finish line, but it sounds like he dodged a bullet. But on the flip side, here's a woman that's also talking about.
I got one more comment for that, Anton. You know, a lot of these women, they want a high value man, but you don't got high value man skills. It's a skill to know when to shut up. For real, I'm saying this because a lot of the women I experience, they argue with me. And I'm not a millionaire yet, right? I'm not a millionaire yet. You know, I'm on my way to be there. And by the way, if you're enjoying this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, also hit the bell notification so you get all the notifications when we drop content. We got some hot content coming. But you need the skills to be with a man at that level, because it's a different skill than being with all these beta men. A lot of women are so used to being with men that worship them, they don't know how to be with a man that you have to worship. You feel me? Especially if he's fit and he's younger. Let's say he's younger than 40. If he's below 40 and he's a 40 below 40, yeah, zip it. You know what I'm saying? Because what's the point? You know what I'm saying? I get it. Like a lot of the arguments I have with girls, like, we don't need to talk about this. Zip it.
What it's like to break up with a certain level of man. Check it out.
I don't hear a lot of people talking about how different breakups feel when you start dating like higher echelon men and higher value men. Like when you're dating like an average guy or even like a below average guy, you guys break up and like there's shit you can hate on. You can think like, wow, he was a loser, he like was a bum, he had no drive in his life, he didn't have a job, he was a horrible boyfriend, whatever. But when you date upper level men and then have to go through breakups with them, you can't say any of that shit. The guy you were dating was educated, made lots of money, had an amazing job, took care of himself, looks good, is tall, etc., and has lots of options. Like there's nothing you can attack for your own ego. And on top of that, a lot of people in breakups love to be like, well, they're gonna regret that. They're gonna regret fumbling.
No, they won't.
But when you're dating higher value men, they probably won't, because they can replace you like that. So yeah, I've raised my standard and I'm dating like way better guys now, but going through breakups with them is not for the weak.
And I think that people need to understand that when you start to get to a higher level, and this should be motivation for the guys, forget the women. We don't really care about what they're saying right here. They're just used as an example so that we can illustrate a point. Guys, when you start to raise your standard, and the way that you raise your standard is not by leading with money to make sure that women want to talk to you. That's not what we're talking about here. What I'm talking about is raising your standard for how you carry yourself, focusing on your growth, focusing on your own pocketbooks, focusing on, continuing to level up and become the best version of yourself. You don't worry about the same things that other guys worry about. You don't chase women. You're not even focused on that. Every guy that I know that gets to a certain level in life, resourceful and financially, They are not worried about women, not even a little bit. They are worried 100% about when their next opportunity is, when they're going to close their next deal. And of course, you're going to have some dusties that scatter about and say, oh man, shouldn't worry about money and all of that. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Because everybody cares about money. And if you're a man and you're not resourceful, then that means that you truly aren't living up to your potential and you're settling for what is available. And I'm not even saying that you got to be super rich, but what I am saying is that you got to put your best foot forward and then ultimately.
Nah, Anton, tell the truth. You got to be rich. Bro, America is one of the easiest countries to become a millionaire. Might be the easiest. Number one. Okay, so if you're a man and you're ambitious, might as well go for the bag. We get to choose our salary. People don't understand that. How much you make a year is your choice. Now, you might not be able to turn it like a switch right away, but over time, you working on something, it compounds. You know what I'm saying? And you could turn a business into something that's very successful or a career path, whatever it is. I knew that I was going to chase for money. So I'm going to have the exact same problems Anton's talking about. But here's the funny part, right? I don't worry about girls, and fortunately for me, that's a good thing because I can just focus on making more YouTube videos, building up the channel, being more active in the community, and work on myself, right? Working out, go to the range, right? Get some shots off. But other than that, my thoughts are this, is like, one of the reasons why I'm not worried about women because they fumbled it. So many girls have fumbled me over the past year. I feel for them. I feel for them because they didn't know I was going to get here. And if you're in the same position, they're not going to be aware that you're going to get there. You know, so let them fumble you. You know, you don't even have to try hard to just stop focusing on girls. You're going to start, after so much bullshit, you just be like, yo, I'm done with this. That's what happened to me. I'm just like, yo, like, I'll meet a beautiful girl. We'll date. We'll hang out. We'll chill. We get to know each other. I'll invest time in her, literally take away time from working on my channel, working on my business to spend time with her just for her to be difficult. Bro, literally nothing. That's why I'm agreeing with Anton, yo. You look way better with your mouth closed. For real. Like, I don't mind intellectual conversations, but if you're going to deal with a man that's this level ambitious, I'm not with nobody trying to sun me. You know, you can say whatever you want to say, and if you got to share something, but a lot of women be thinking they can coach me. You can't coach me. You can't do what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, shut it. Right? That's some high value man advice to the women that's watching this. Anyway, like this video, subscribe to the channel, blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Anton, man. I definitely want to collaborate with Anton in the future. Respect him. This dude made $172,000 last month. Respect. That's exactly where I'm trying to be. Also, I got my whole YouTube setup. If you guys want to start doing YouTube videos, if you're inspired by this, which I would be if I were you, I got my whole studio set up, the gear, in a link below in the description. Check out my full studio setup. It's right there in the link below. And I'm going to start doing classes soon and courses soon, eventually, because I know at some point, you know, it's to give it back, right? I went to school for business, and that's why I love starting a YouTube channel, because I think it's one of the best businesses you could start. So, absolutely, if you need help with that, leave a comment below. Hit me up on DM and Instagram. I help everybody. I answer every DM. I'm here for you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying it forward the same way people paid it forward to me. Anyway, see you guys at some of my other videos.